First, I want to start by briefly addressing today's decision in the district court. Safe, secure, and fair elections are the backbone of our democracy. And today's decision only tells us and reminds us of what we knew. That drive-through voting is safe, convenient, secure, that it's beyond comprehension that anyone would seek to invalidate 127,000 votes, and that the law is on our side on this. We expect an appeal, and we're going to continue fighting. But for right now, I want folks to remember that those seeking to suppress the votes and the voices of our citizens have no place in our democracy, and that we'll fight zealously to defend against any attempts for that to happen. We believe in the sanctity of each and every ballot cast, no matter who casts it. And so should our leaders at every level of government. My message to residents of Harris County is very simple. Go vote. It is our time to participate, whoever you want to vote for. Go make your voice heard. That is the cornerstone of our democracy. That is the cornerstone of accountable government. And we need to make sure that we're making our voices heard. And so tomorrow, there's going to be a record number of voting locations. Folks will be able to vote anywhere on election day. We'll have all of these safe, secure, and legal options, and we want to make sure that citizens use them. Do not let those seeking to undermine confidence in our elections process deter you from voting. I know so far we haven't let that happen in the face of attacks. People have participated like never before, and the country's watching, and we're so proud to see our voters turn out, and I'm confident we're going to continue to see that. Remember to visit harrisvotes.com for the latest information. We have all the information about polling places and hours, and I look forward to seeing everybody at the polls. Now, we're here at BBVA Stadium, and it's T-1. Election day is tomorrow. We're just blown away by the 1.4 million people that have already participated. That said, there's still 1 million people who have yet to turn out. And I'm looking at you if you're one of those million voters. Tomorrow is your day. And I want to tell you that you can cast your vote conveniently, safely, and securely. One of the most inspiring stories this year is the willingness of professional sports to come together to support our democratic processes. And for that, I thank the Dynamo, I thank Nico and BBVA, but also NRG and Toyota Center and so many different organizations who have been working to encourage that participation in our democracy. These folks are devoting the same energy they devote in the field, in the game, to our democratic participation. It's a beautiful thing, and there's nothing more American than that. So I want to take a moment to thank Nico and everyone who's pushed to get people registered and informed and worked to get the vote out. There's a few improvements that I want to make sure the community knows about before we head into the big day, election day. Since the last presidential election in 2016, we've come a long way. First, we have more polling locations. 806 locations all throughout Harris County, to be exact. In the last election, we had 750. We also have BBVA Stadium. We're here at this beautiful stadium, which for the first time on election day will be a polling location. So come on out and come and make your voice heard here. If you voted by mail, you're dropping off your ballot. You can track your ballot online. We have those additional resources. We have the ability for you to track the line at the different voting locations so that you're not waiting in line. Second, you should rest easy knowing we're protecting you from COVID. At all our locations, we've got very careful parameters that Isabel and Clerk Collins have been working very hard to implement to make sure that folks are spaced apart, that there's finger covers, that there's disinfectant wipes, that folks feel safe and are safe when they go to participate, even in the time of COVID. And finally, if you come away with anything today, I want it to be this. For the first time in presidential election history in Harris County, on election day, you will be able to vote at any polling location in the county. This is an innovation that we've heard about from voters that we wanted to do since we came into office. And so if you see a polling location near you, you'll be able to vote there. We've all heard the story, we've all seen it. Before 2019, you would show up to a polling location on election day, and you would see the person who's rushing back from work, from picking up the kids, and couldn't make it before the polls closed. Because it used to be that in this county, you could only vote at your home precinct. That is no longer. That's a decision that Commissioners Court worked on last year, and this is the first presidential election in which we'll be able to see that. So remember, you can vote at any polling location on election day, and I hope you'll take advantage of that. And of course, the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So Harris County, we're already making headlines for a record participation. I know we're going to keep seeing that tomorrow. Come out and vote regardless of who you support. We treasure your vote. We're going to protect it, and we want to make sure that you cast that vote and you make your voice heard. So come on out on election day, and we'll see you there. En español, brevemente, primero quiero hablar un poco acerca de la audiencia y la decisión esta mañana por el juez distrital. Sabemos que las elecciones seguras y las elecciones justas son una parte integral de nuestra democracia. La decisión de hoy simplemente nos recuerda que el voto por automóvil es legal, es conveniente y es algo que tiene sentido, especialmente durante una pandemia. Es incomprensible que algún grupo o alguna persona intente invalidar 127,000 votos en esta elección tan importante. Y el juez está de acuerdo. Esperamos o estamos prediciendo que estos individuos van a apelar la decisión del juez, pero seguiremos luchando para proteger cada voto en el condado Harris, porque sabemos que esos votos son un tesoro y que todos los votos deben contar. Mi mensaje a los residentes del condado, a los ciudadanos, a los votantes: salgan a votar. No permitan que estos individuos que están trabajando a través de todo el país para causar confusión, para causar duda en nuestros sistemas democráticos, no permita que estas personas lo intimiden. La manera de hacer eso es salir a votar. Entonces, por favor, participen, sea cual sea su candidato. Mañana, el día de las elecciones, es el momento de participar. Estamos muy orgullosos de ver los números. Más de 1.4 millones de votantes en el condado ya han participado. Es algo hermoso. Pero hay todavía 1 millón de personas, de ciudadanos, que no han salido a votar. Entonces, si usted no ha salido a votar, esto es para usted. Mañana es el día a participar. Hemos hecho muchas cosas para poder hacer el voto más seguro y más conveniente. Una de las historias más positivas de este año ha sido la participación de estos grupos deportivos en las elecciones. Desde los Texans, NRG, los Rockets en el Toyota Center y ahora también los Dynamo aquí en el BBVA Stadium. Han abierto sus puertas para tener un centro de votación. Entonces, este hermoso estadio estará abierto el día de mañana, el día de las elecciones. Vengan aquí a votar al BBVA Stadium, donde está su equipo de fútbol. Va a ser algo increíble el día de mañana y le damos las gracias a Nico, le damos las gracias a la organización de los Dynamo por haber permitido esto. Desde las elecciones presidenciales del 2016, otros cambios. Tenemos muchos más sitios de votación, tenemos 806, que son más que nunca jamás, a través de todo el condado. Debe saber también que lo estamos protegiendo en contra del virus. Tenemos todos los recursos, coberturas para sus dedos, pañitos desinfectantes, todo tipo de recursos para que se sienta seguro al votar y no tenga preocupación del virus. Y finalmente, lo más importante, en elecciones presidenciales anteriores ha tenido que votar en su precinto electoral, cerca de su casa. Todos hemos visto historias, hemos visto personas que llegan corriendo después de recoger a los niños del trabajo y no alcanzan a votar. Este año es diferente. Puede votar en cualquier sitio electoral en el condado, no tiene que ir a su precinto. Entonces recuerde eso, salga a votar y participemos. La decisión de quién va a ser el presidente puede fácilmente estar en las manos de los votantes latinos de este condado. Las encuestas muestran a Texas empatado, y en el condado Harris hay suficientes latinos para hacer la diferencia. Entonces, vote por el candidato que prefiere, reconozca que su voto es increíblemente importante, especialmente este año. Entonces, recuerden, pueden visitar harrisvotes.com para cualquier información. La información está en español. Puede ver también si hay tiempo de espera en los sitios de votación y ver dónde le gustaría ir. Puede ir a cualquier sitio a lo largo de todo el condado. No hay excusa, es momento para hacer historia el día de mañana en las elecciones. Isabel.
So it's our big day tomorrow, Election Day. This is what we've been working for months and months, my staff and I, over at the County Clerk's Office, soon to be Elections Administration. So starting tomorrow, 7 a.m., we're going to have 800 voting locations, be it an open-air stadium, this beautiful BBVA stadium with the Dynamos, everything to drive-through voting in a secure location. We've got funeral homes, we've got bars, we've got garages, we've got community centers, and everything in between. So there's more than enough places for everyone in Harris County to vote tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And as a reminder, if you are in line at 7 p.m., stay in line. As long as you're in line by 7 p.m., everyone gets to vote. And if you have any questions about your eligibility, any questions on where, how, or what to do, especially with COVID, please, 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 give us a call at 713-755-6965. That's our election hotline. We're open this evening during business hours, and then we're open from 6 a.m. tomorrow until the last person votes. And again, on that harrisvotes.com website, we'll have the wait times app so you can see anywhere in Harris County where the shortest line is and where the best place is for you to vote. So we couldn't be more excited. It's already been historic, and we know no matter what happens tomorrow, it will be the most historic election, not only for Harris County, but for the rest of the nation. And we're excited again to partner with the Dynamo and other organizations who are coming out, recognizing how important it is and giving us these beautiful venues to make people feel comfortable while they vote. So thank you so much, and I'll go into Spanish as well. Por favor, mañana empieza las días de las elecciones, un día gigante para nosotros aquí en el condado de Harris, y van a empezar las votaciones a las 7 de la mañana en más de 800 locaciones aquí en Harris County. Entonces vienen todos con sus familias, con los abuelos, con los nietos, con todos para votar con nosotros. Y también si visitas el harrisvotes.com, tenemos información en español, dónde puedes votar, cuándo puedes votar, y si tienen algunas preguntas de cómo, cuándo o con quién, por favor llámanos en el 713-755-6965 para todo lo que sea. Y también tenemos gente que ayudan en español, en inglés y todo lo que sea aquí en Harris County. Entonces, por favor, vienen a votar para esta elección histórica en nuestro condado. Porque si no lanzas tu voto, no tenemos elecciones. Entonces, como un juego de fútbol, necesitamos que todos se participen.
Just to reiterate everything that they've said, it's important for us here at Dynamo FC to be a part of this historic moment and to be a place that's available for people to come vote. And I think that's the message. If there's something that you care about, that is important to you, like, this is your time for your voice to be heard. And that's all we can say is go vote, and vote for what you believe in. And so I want to thank both of you for being here today and expressing that. And I want to say as well that across all of Houston and across all of Harris County, all the athletes have done a huge amount of work to be able to tell everyone to go vote. And I think it's important for us this year and for the following years to come as well, is to make your voice be heard. And it all comes with just understanding what this means to you and making sure that your voice is heard and that you can create change by something simple, and it's just voting. And for Spanish, for me, all I can say is vota, por favor.
We'll take any questions.
Judge, I've heard that there is going to be multiple locations for drop-off of ballots tomorrow. Is there any risk with that, considering the litigiousness that's been brought by certain people on the drive-through voting?
Isabel, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, no problem. Not at all. This is something that we've done every election day. The only contention, if you will, from the Secretary of State was during early vote. We wanted to make it more accessible. The governor and others in the Secretary of State had questions, and that's okay. But on election day, there is no question. All of our annexes will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., as well as NRG, where we've been accepting mail ballots in person all along. The only thing I would remind our voters is you can only turn in a mail ballot for you yourself, and you have to have that ID. So we've had some heartbreaking situations where someone tries to turn in their mail ballot maybe for a family member, a grandmother, grandfather who can't get out of the house. And unfortunately, the only people who can turn it into us in person is the voter themselves with an ID. However, we've teamed up with the U.S. Postal Service, and if you go to 1500 Hadley, if you're trying to turn in a mail ballot for a family member, remember, you can go directly to the post office, you can surrender it to them directly, and it's basically like dropping it in a mailbox, but just faster. So the U.S. Postal Service is teaming up to us to say, we know Election Day is important, we know we got to hit those deadlines, so if you go to your post offices, they're going to work with you to make sure that mail ballot gets to us ASAP tomorrow night in Harris County.
The Hadley location, is that going to be where they're going to have additional personnel there to handle the possibly additional the mail?
I think the U.S. Post Office traditionally staffs up on Election Day to handle the influx of post office. How many? I don't know. We'll have to reach out to our friends there, but they are just as interested in making sure our votes count on Election Day as we are.
So the governor's order has no effect on Election Day? Is that
correct? On Election Day, yeah, we've always had our annexes open, and we'll continue to have our annexes open for mail ballot drop-off until we hear otherwise.
So that's what you did in previous elections?
Correct. That's been every single election. Election Day was never the question.
Judge, I wanted to ask about voter security. The president last month asked supporters to come out and become poll watchers, and there's a fear of intimidation for people at the polls. Do you have any concerns with that? Are there plans in place to protect people?
Absolutely. You know, everything has gone incredibly smoothly, and of course, a thank you to our community. But also, we've been on the front lines of this. We've got an incredible working group with our county attorney's office, our district attorney's office, our law enforcement, of course the county clerk's office, and my office. Everybody's coordinating, and so in the tiny incidents we've had, it's been quick deployment and no problem. So I expect that will be the case tomorrow. But I do want to use this opportunity to remind folks that this is what makes us a democracy, is the ability to be able to peacefully participate in the democratic process, and have a discussion about policy disagreements, but that's it. It should not cross over beyond that, and anything violence related will not be tolerated, but I of course don't expect any of that. We've done fantastic up till now, and I'm confident that will be the case tomorrow.
We spoke with Chief Acevedo talking about there'll be more officers out and around just in case. The governor is also talking about the deployment of those 1,000 National Guard troops to cities across the state. Have you been in contact? Do you know how the National Guard will play into the voting here tomorrow?
The governor has made clear he's not going to be sending troops to the polling locations, so I don't want, that's very clear. We're working with our Office of Emergency Management. We've been in touch today. Everybody always plans for every contingency, but I have no concerns. Right now the focus needs to be go vote. I don't want to create the impression that we are expecting any kind of concerns, because I don't want people to feel discouraged or to be worried. There's no need to worry. Right now we need to make our voices heard and to not succumb to the folks that are trying to plant that fear.
And do you have that confidence because of early voting and how it's gone so far?
Early voting has been great from the very beginning, even before the governor requested it, before the president, suggested it. We've always welcomed poll watchers. I was visiting several of the polls last week, speaking with the election workers, and to a last one, no major incidents. And it's in large part because of our community, of course, because of the great staff we have, and I trust that's going to continue. We work together in this community, and I have faith that that'll be the case, but of course all of us are coordinating and all of us are ready to respond if there's an incident.
Judge, can you give a synopsis of that in Spanish, please, for Spanish station?
Sí, estamos, la pregunta fue acerca de la seguridad, de si hubiera cualquier reto. Durante todo el periodo de votación anticipada no hemos visto ningún incidente serio. Eso es debido obviamente a la comunidad, trabaja junta, reconoce que la democracia finalmente depende de nuestra habilidad de participar pacíficamente, tener una discusión acerca de los temas, pero nada más. Sí hay un grupo que ha venido trabajando entre la fiscal, el county clerk, mi oficina, la oficina del abogado del condado, y respondemos a cualquier situación que haya de presentarse, pero no ha habido ninguna situación seria. Si algo se fuera a presentar, estamos preparados, pero no espero eso. Y el mensaje es, por favor, no se dejen intimidar, no se dejen preocupar, no hay razón por la cual estar asustados. El momento es salir a votar mañana.
About the Attorney General made some sort of ruling that poll watchers who maybe came closer than 6 feet could not be expelled from polling locations. Apparently that had been, there had been some instances of that apparently. Is that something that's happened in Harris County to your knowledge? Is it something that, or do you have any response to the Attorney General's commentary on that?
Yeah, absolutely. The Attorney General made it clear in their comments, right, in their statements earlier in the summer that poll watchers aren't required to wear a mask, but quite honestly, the vast majority of poll watchers who've come through are equally worried about COVID, so they're wearing their masks, they're staying distance. If anything, they usually get overly eager when trying to help a voter, and so that's the only thing we've seen. Poll watchers are always, and you as voters should know this, always supposed to maintain a respectful distance. If you as a voter feel that a poll watcher is getting too close to you, making you feel uncomfortable or intimidated while you're voting, you can ask them to back up just a little bit, and that has to come directly from the voter. But other than that, most poll watchers like ourselves are concerned about COVID, are wearing their masks, and are equally not interested in infecting others or getting too close. So while we know that's been out there, and while we know some folks want to push it out that there's a whole bunch of people who want to wear a mask or don't want to wear masks, quite honestly, we've seen that again. Most poll watchers have been respectful about COVID, are maintaining their distance. But again, as a voter, you can always ask someone to take a step back, whether it's a poll watcher or one of our own folks, because your priority, right, your safety and your priority when voting is our priority as well.
Spanish language, just a summary of your comment about the poll watchers.
Sí, si hay alguien en las locaciones donde están votando que se acerca un poco, les puede decir que por favor me das un poco de más de espacio, porque nadie debe de influir su voto cuando estás ahí. Igual a los poll watchers que están ahí con un candidato, un partido político para verificar todo lo que está pasando en esta locación. Entonces, por favor, que sepan que todos, más o menos todos, tienen mascarilla, están como un poco distante y está bien, pero como siempre, si tú como votante sientes que alguien está un poco más cerca, que están un poco más como intimidando lo que estás haciendo, por favor, pregunta, que te dan un poco más de espacio. Igual si es alguien de nuestra oficina, un poll watcher, siempre puedes pedir que alguien te da espacio para votar como quieres.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.